What's going on, y'all? Josh Miller here. Welcome back. Very excited to see you. Thanks for tuning in. I am super pumped for this video because we're going to be talking about how to do 3 different film looks with one light. And this is a really fun exercise. It was really fun for myself because it pushed me to, just do different things and different looks, but only with one light. And I think everybody should try that out sometime, But to start off, we are going to be using 2 lights, technically, not at the same time, just for different purposes. But the first light I'm going to be using is an Aputure 300X, and the second light I'm going to be using is an Amaran 100X. And one tip to start everything off is having one light is really nice, but you need modifiers, whether it's a softbox, a lantern, or like a Fresnel or a spotlight. Those things really can help just be able to shape light in different ways, whether it's really, really focused or really, really soft. But those things really will change the look of the light. All right, so the first look that we're going to be going over is backlighting. This is backlit. It's coming through a window, but it's backlit. So I took my Aputure 300X and put it outside my window on a C-stand and sticked it up and used haze. Obviously, that's how I'm getting these shafts of light here. But I wanted to, do a backlit scene because it really creates a lot of mystery and drama. There's not a ton of detail, but you get edges, you get shape of the character. You see this in like James Bond movies and stuff like that. But I had that, like I said, coming through the window, and I shaped it by taking the blinds and angling them at a certain angle. I played with it to find the right spot, and then also took the curtains and closed those down, and it created a really cool shaft of light with a narrow shaft of light vertically, but then also slits going from top to bottom. And I actually, because my house is white walls, I had a lot of bounce coming back, and that was good. I wanted that bounce to really just be able to fill in the room and have a little bit of detail and at least something that I could play with in post. If everything was super crushed and it was in silhouette, I wouldn't have anything to play with. Also, if you've thought about using haze, do it. It makes a world of a difference in your videos. That atmosphere is so cool. And then if you really want shafts of light, you gotta do that. All right, look number 2, we are going for a bounce look, a bounce light, I'm gonna call it. And so what I did here is I'm in my laundry room, wanted to have it look like somebody was down the hall that I didn't know was there, pop the light on, whatever. All right, so I took my Aputure 300X, set it to 3200 so that I could match the light bulb down the hallway. And I shot this into the corner of my laundry room. And the really cool thing with this is when you take a light and you bounce it into something, or when you shoot it through like a piece of diffusion, that light or that source now becomes the new light. So as I bounce this into the corner, now that corner and everything in that room in a way became the light. And because of the laundry room and its small and all white walls, it's kind of like cove lighting in a way. It was really wrapping around my face a lot. And I actually put outside in the hallway, I put a negative fill out there just to be able to bring down the exposure a little bit and create some more contrast there. I put it in that location because I wanted to imitate the overhead light of my laundry room, but I wanted it to come from behind me just a little bit so that it had a more back-ish light feel, that it was just, coming from there. And yeah, like I said, it again, when you shoot it into something or through something, that now becomes the light. And so you get a big light. And I didn't even have a lot of space. I couldn't have put, I would have, for a much tighter shot, I could have put like a soft box or something on it, but instead of doing that, I just put it into the corner, and that creates a lot of soft light and really wraps the light around. And look number 3, we are going for a really nice moody overhead lighting. So for this one, I swapped out the light and I'm now using my Amaran 100X. And I did that just because I needed to put it out on a C-stand with a Aputure lantern and a skirt. And so just tried to reduce the weight a little bit and not have it come crashing down. So again, I'm in my kitchen. I wanted it to just be a simple, stressing over taxes, and took the aperture with the lantern, put a skirt on it. A skirt is a piece of fabric, and with the aperture lanterns, it actually comes with it. But you can use just, duvet and wrap it around it, or just some fabric, whatever. What's really nice with the aperture lantern is it has Velcro, so you can roll it up. And so as I put it overhead, I wanted a little bit more exposure in the back of my room. And again, using one light, I just rolled one side of the skirt up, and it let some light out into the room to be able to just bring up some of that exposure. But overhead lighting is really nice because it creates a lot of shape and a lot of shadow. And again, as cinematographers, that's our job, is we're here to create shadow, light and shadow, boom, boom, boom. And so as I put it overhead, I moved it back just so it's one of those, it's a creative choice. You just find a nice spot. If it's in front a lot, you're going to have a lot more coming here. If it's more behind, it's going to be a lot darker here. So if you find a nice middle ground, if that's what you want to do, it'll, just fill in the face just enough while still creating some shadow. And for this scene, I actually also added a negative fill on my right side, just because I wanted to bring down the exposure just a little bit more on that right side, just have a little bit of shape here and here. And yeah, like I said, just rolled up the back of the skirt a little bit to have a little bit more exposure in my living room. So there you have it, 3 film looks with 1 light being used, whatever. And just for everybody's information, I was filming on my Sony FX6 with Sony, my 16-35 G Master, and I am using Phantom LUTs on all of these because they're freaking awesome. But yeah, it's a lot of fun to be able to flex your creative muscle and do these things. And like I said, the one tip that I'd have out of all of this is having modifiers, whether it's a Fresnel, Spotlight, Soft Dome, or like if you're working with like a grip package, having 4x pieces of diffusion, or 6x or 12x, those 1 lights can do a lot with those different modifiers. And also if you have negative fill, then you can really shape light really, really nicely like that. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below. Would love to hear your thoughts, and if you do have questions, love to answer those for you. And don't forget to like and subscribe. This is just the 2nd video of the year out of many more to come. And follow me on Instagram and TikTok. I'm also on there a lot. Post way more than I do on here. And yeah, go get that bag. Make that light and shadow. Okay, that's your job as a cinematographer. See you in the next video.